Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by MiloTree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Blogger Genius. If you are ready to take the plunge and start your online business, I'm talking to you. David and I just started a service called MiloTree BlogStart, where we will set up your blog for you. Technology can be tricky, setting up a blog can be tricky, but we will make it so easy and we will optimize it and we will set it up right. And then we will be there for any technical help you need. So you are safe with us. And then you can take your blog and start building your online business. I want to read something that somebody wrote who used our service. Thank you, Jillian and David, for helping me get my blog set up, encouraging me every step of the way. Easiest process ever. A small price to pay for not having to spend hours trying to figure it out on my own. If that speaks to you, head to milotree.com/blogstart. And if you have any questions, always reach out to me at jillian@milotree.com. For today's episode, I am interviewing Emma Lee Bates. Emma is, I love this, she's a marketing implementer. And what she says is she goes into businesses, she finds out where the holes are, and she plugs them. We have a really interesting conversation about selling online. We talk about how to set up your landing page, how to sell with email. If selling is something you're interested in, or something that you struggle with, or something that you want to learn more about, this is the episode for you. I really enjoyed it. I think you will too. So without further delay, here is my interview with Emma Lee Bates. Emma, welcome to the show. I am very excited to chat with you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
I found you because I ended up, and I don't know when I opted in, on your email list. And I feel like you provide so much value that I thought I want to talk to her and see what you're all about and really what you're seeing in terms of trends in online marketing and building funnels and that kind of thing.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to chat with you. And, it was really fun to have you reach out.
Oh, good. Okay, so before we start, let's step back and why don't you share your entrepreneurial journey and how you got interested in online marketing?
Okay.
Is that a big question?
It is a big question. It's been quite the journey. I will go back to sort of the first real business I started, which was, let's see, I launched this, I think, in 2011. I started baking gluten-free and vegan granola.
How funny. Okay.
How funny is that, right? And so I started selling it at my local farmer's market, and it ended up being so popular, people were calling me like the night before to make sure I reserved a bag for them. So the next thing I knew, I was like renting out commercial kitchen space and going, doing wholesale. And so I ran that for about 4 years. And in 2000, I guess I must have started in 2010. Anyway, in 2014, I ended up selling it. It was really hard to be out every weekend and a lot of evenings to make the granola. I had 2 young kids. And so it didn't make sense for my life anymore. But that was my first real taste of running my own business. And, I bootstrapped the entire thing. And so I learned so much. And after that, I dabbled in a couple of other things. I actually then was diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
Ooh.
And 2 weeks later found out I was pregnant with our 3rd child.
Ooh.
And so everything just sort of got put on hold at that point. And, we dealt with all that. And I'm healthy now. That my baby girl was a very healthy baby. And now she's almost 5,
Wow.
which is hard to believe. But then I was like, I really loved running a business and I wanted to jump back in. And I started a blog and started working as a virtual assistant pretty much right after my youngest was born. And I've been doing it ever since. And I love learning new things. I love sort of diving in and trying out stuff. And So it's been a really sort of just self-discovery journey for me the last few years of, what parts do I love the most and what more can I learn?
I love that. I love talking to entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, because this tends to be more with women than men, which is when going out on your own and becoming an online entrepreneur becomes a journey, not just in growing a business and hopefully a successful one where you could be making an income, but also one where you learn about yourself and you challenge yourself and you push through in ways that you never would if you're in your typical marketing job at some large corporation, because you're out there and you are just juggling. And we talked about this right before I pressed record about how as online entrepreneurs, we're all kind of flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really true. And, and I think especially as you sort of start trying to build like a virtual assistant business or a service-based business, people ask you things and you're like, I don't know how to do that, but hey, if you're willing, I'll go find out how and do it for you, And so it pushes you to sort of take that next step and learn that new thing.
Yeah. And so my husband is my partner and he is very technically savvy, and I will have a technical question and his response to me, I want him to solve my problem. And his response is Google it.
Yep.
Like, I'm not solving this. Like, he could go, but chances are if he were to go solve it, he'd be Googling it. So he turns to me and he's like, you Google it. And if ultimately you can't come up with a solution, I'll jump in and help you. However, like now I don't even ask him because I know what his answer is going to be. And again, there's something very empowering about the fact that you can't, if you're smart, if you're curious, chances are the answer will be out there. And maybe then it won't be. And you need to go test it out and see and learn for yourself.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about then how I have a variety of questions. One, are you artistic? Because it seems like you're designing stuff.
Yeah, I love designing. I've never kind of dived into the real, Photoshop or InDesign or any of those, but I use Canva. But I've always been really hands-on artistic. And actually, I have a degree in hand bookbinding. That's what I went to school for. So I've always loved the design aspect. And being able to sort of bring it into my business has been really fun.
Okay, so how would you describe yourself? If somebody says, well, what do you do online? What would you say you do?
That is such a good question, and I have such a hard time answering that. I would say I'm probably a marketing implementer.
Ooh, okay.
I'm good at coming in and seeing like kind of where the holes are in a business and then finding ways to plug them. So, for example, recently I had a meeting with a blogger who she has products and, she makes pretty good money, but like she never set up a tripwire. And so it's like, all right, so here's an easy way we could, bring in some more money to your business. So let's, take one of your products or, put together a small bundle of stuff and make a tripwire page, because she's getting multiple signups per day. It's like an easy way to just add a little bit more to the bottom line for her.
Right. And let's step back and just explain a tripwire is, and in fact, I'm building this out on Catch My Party. So what we are doing is we give away a lot of free printables. And what we say is for parties. And one of our most popular, of course, are Minecraft printables. We give them away. They're free. And so what we did was we said, okay, we were asking for your email address in order to get the printables. Great. Good, that's viable for us. However, then I said, wait a second. What I'm going to do is say, once you give us your email address, a page is going to show up instead of like your thank you page now is a sales page. And it says for $5, if you want the downloadable banner that says happy birthday and has an alphabet so you can personalize it with your child's name and age, put your credit card in, pay $5 and boom, it's yours.
Right. Right. And people, you already know that people are interested in those Minecraft printables. And so upselling them on something, a little more customizable and everything, it's like a really easy yes for them.
Exactly.
It can be a great way to, bring in a little extra money.
And I'm not doing anything because it's all automated.
Right.
So I do have to set it up. But once it's set up, and let's say I get one sale a day, and we're getting definitely more, but it's like one of our most popular printable sets. But still, it goes right into my bank account.
Right.
And I'm not, and so that is an opportunity. So I love that. That's an opportunity where you can just almost like finding that money.
Yeah.
And and again, it's always about delivering the right product at the right time to the right person. So this person might yesterday was not going to give me $5. But because all of a sudden in her inbox are showing up these free printables, she's much more, and she's throwing a Minecraft party, she is much more amenable to going, it was $5. Right.
Right. Well, and it also, I think people get really involved with giving away free stuff. And that's great. I love free stuff. But if you want to build a list of people who are willing to buy from you, having that tripwire prepares people that you don't give everything away for free, and that, your expertise is worth something.
Yes. It is like training your audience, and then you can see who purchased from you. And you know what? If they're willing to buy something for $5 and you deliver on it,
right,
and they have a good experience, maybe next time they'll buy something for $20 or maybe $100 or whatever. So you start to, train them that this is not just like, Jillian gives everything away for free, but also, hey, if you like this, I've got this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about, because I feel like one of your expertises is funnels.
Yeah.
Talk to me about funnels and how you think about them. I know that's a very broad question.
I really like funnels. I really like figuring out how to connect everything and, what should go where, and then looking at, all right, what's working and what's not. I think, people find funnels really overwhelming. It feels like it's something really big, but really just talking about a tripwire,
that's a funnel.
To tripwire to your email is a funnel. That is bringing people into your list and, preparing them to be customers. So I don't think it has to be this big, huge, complicated mess where, there's a million moving pieces. There's very easy ways to start building some funnels in your business that can make a big difference. One of the things I think people freak out about is writing those sales emails.
Yes.
And asking for the sale.
Can you talk about that? Because to be honest with you,
yep.
I struggle with that, and I'll tell you my struggle. My struggle is I get all of these emails from other people where they want me to, know, like, and trust them, and they're these incredibly long emails. And my instinct is I don't want to write for when I'm selling stuff. I don't want to write really long emails. I just want to get to the point.
Yeah.
But I go, but all these other people are writing these really long emails. And what is your feeling about that?
Oh, my feeling is basically, if your audience knows you, if you are writing to them on a regular basis and you're sharing bits about yourself and being personable, you don't have to write these super huge, long sales emails. You can write a paragraph at the beginning, that just sort of introduces it, and then ask for the sale. If your list has gone cold, if you haven't emailed them in 6 months and you want to sell something, it's a really different story. And you do have to, build up that know, like, and trust factor again. But, I think as long as you are honest with your audience and you are willing to tell them, pluses and minuses for things, that, you can build a relationship that doesn't mean you have to write these huge, long emails. And I also think too, is if you always write huge, long emails and all of a sudden you're sending, 3 emails in a row that are just like, buy this thing, people are going to be like, what is happening?
Right.
But, I would say my, weekly email, it's not that long. I write maybe 5 to 7 paragraphs, But, I try to tell a little bit about what's going on in my life and a little bit what's going on in my business. And so every week people are getting those touch points with me and, hopefully getting to know me. And so then, I feel like when it's time to, offer a product for sale, that I can be like, hey, this is this cool thing I've made and I'm going to tell you about it and I'm going to ask you to buy it. And I don't feel like it has to be this epic journey.
Yeah, that's it. It feels like, but because I don't want to go, meaning my life's really busy. And when I get these long, pitchy emails, I'm kind of a little turned off. Like, what? I'm supposed to hear about your dog and the fact that there's been a blizzard. And not that I don't care about you, but it's just like, get to the point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think too, the business to business world is people want the point.
Right.
Right.
I think that's a very good point. I think you might be right. If I am selling something like, hey, here's my weight loss course, or here's like where I'm going to, like, here's my parenting course. You want to know, if it's a weight loss course, that I've lost a bunch of weight and what that journey was like. Or if it's a parenting course, you want to know the struggles I've gone through so that you could say, I relate to her. I want to buy her course.
Yeah.
But if I want to sell MiloTree and go, guys, you want to grow your social media followers a little faster, here's a great solution, you kind of, like, you don't necessarily need to know about the blizzard.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I think part of that is just respecting your audience. Where are they? Are they, at the point where they're like, I just need to know what you need from me. Because I have 3 million emails to go through today.
Right.
Or are they like, I have some time. I want to read. I want to know what you're talking about.
I want to connect. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to know what your dog is doing. I want to see the pictures of your cat and your kids and, and going to the pumpkin patch and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I bet you're right. I bet I get confused, like where I'm like, if you're trying to sell me something business related, that stuff I don't care as much about. I want to know what you're doing and why this will help me.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I like that. So what are some of the best ways to ask for the sale?
Oh, be direct.
Tell me.
I think people get so scared of asking, of just saying, I've made this, please buy it. They just beat around the bush, and I feel like they never actually get out that sentence. And then the email's over and people are like, what am I supposed to do here?
Yep.
Be direct. Say, this is the thing. This is how much it costs. Click this link and buy it now.
And you need to say, and this is how it will change your life.
Yeah. Tell them, what is it going to do for them? And one of the things I say often is people don't really care about you. They want to know what it's going to do for them.
Yes.
And so, yes, you can tell your story, but make sure the point of the story is how this can be the same for the reader, that they can get the same results, and really focus on the after for them and not just the after for you.
I love that. Absolutely. It's like connecting the dots.
Yeah.
So that you better believe my blizzard story better be a way that helps you in your life.
Yes.
Because I've discovered this amazing shovel. And if you live in a cold climate, you've got to buy this shovel with my affiliate link because I was able to save my family in the blizzard.
Right. So click here now to go check it out.
So do you believe, like, in your email, you should be putting a button or you should be putting a big link? Like, what kind of, how, just even logistically, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's going to be one of those things you need to test out. Do you do a naked link? Do you do, text that is linked? Do you do a button? I think business to business audiences, they're pretty savvy. And so you can do, just linked text. Whereas, more regular consumer, they might want a button because they need a little bit more, big in your face, this is what you click. So it depends on your audience for something like that.
I wanted to take a quick break to talk about how, as bloggers and online entrepreneurs, the landscape is always changing. What you want to do today is really direct your visitors and your customers to where you want them to go. I'm excited that we launched, as part of MiloTree, So not only can you grow your social media followers on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and YouTube and get people to subscribe to your list from your pop-up, but we have another pop-up that we just launched, and it's a custom link pop-up. What that means is if you want people to see a certain piece of content on your site, you can link your pop-up to that piece of content, put an image in the pop-up so that when someone comes to your site, they'll be directed to go see that. Now, let's say it's a piece of a sponsored post and you want to get eyeballs on it. That's a great use case for the pop-up. Let's say you're selling a product and you have a landing page or a sales page. You can link this pop-up to that. Let's say you're really psyched about your TikTok account. Go link the pop-up to your TikTok account. Wherever you want it to go, you can. And therefore, you start to gain control of your audience's path. Head to MiloTree.com. Get your first 30 days free. You'll see the custom link pop-up. Also, you have access to all the other ones. But I think this is a game changer because I think we are going to see over the next 6 to 12 months a real shift in how people make money online. If you have any questions, reach out to me at Jillian@MiloTree.com. And now back to the show. Let's say I'm a blogger and I've been putting out a lot of free content. I'm making money via ads, let's say, and maybe some sponsor posts. And I want to start by selling a product. Mm-hmm. What do you recommend I start with?
I love Shopify.
Okay.
I feel like Shopify is easy to use. It's got so many apps that you can add on as you grow to do different things. And you can start with a $9 a month plan so that you just are using buy buttons on your site. So you're not building like a whole shop on Shopify itself. And their checkout is so easy.
So easy. And we're getting used to it, where like we understand Amazon and feel safe buying on Amazon. And we might feel safe, let's say, buying on Etsy or eBay. I feel like the Shopify experience now is becoming something that we are also familiar with. Yeah.
And Shopify is so great. I mean, they accept so many different ways to pay. I mean, now you can use Apple Pay on there. You can set it up to accept PayPal. You can use the Shopify payment system to accept credit cards. So I feel like people get sort of stuck in this like only one way to pay solution where, some people hate PayPal and some people love PayPal. And, you need to offer a variety of ways to check out. And that's just something Shopify does really well.
So now what if I'm selling a digital good? Do you still recommend Shopify? Or is this like I'm making crocheted handbags?
Nope. I still do Shopify. I do it for all of my digital downloads. There's a free app you can use so that, the PDF is automatically delivered. So it's super easy for people. I'm big on Shopify.
And then is there a way to add things like tripwires or additional bumps in sales, things like that?
There are. Those are some of the apps you can use. I can't remember which one I use. I have a suggested, you might also like this app.
Okay.
And so that shows up, I think, once you've added something to the cart, that'll show up. But I mean, you can also do it'll show you related products, or you can do a banner across the top that's offering, something else, or, even a sale coupon code or that type of thing to encourage people to buy more. So yeah, there's a lot you can do in Shopify for that.
Okay, that's interesting. So in terms of what you sell and where you've found success, what are your products? Because aren't they mostly digital or all digital?
At this point, they're all digital. I've played around a little bit with using one of the on-demand printing services. I tried out, I think, like some journals and stuff. And right now, though, everything is digital. And I use Shopify for all of my ebooks, and then all of my courses are hosted on Teachable.
Okay. And how is that for you?
I really like Teachable. It has its quirks, but I think all of these online course creation places do. but I find Teachable as a consumer really easy to
Yes.
use. I really like that you have one account, and you can see every course that you are a member of
Right?
from your one account, which doesn't happen in many of the other programs. So I personally, as a consumer, really like Teachable, and that was how I made my decision that I wanted to go with it as a course creator as well.
Now, when did you, okay, so just briefly for the audience, tell the audience what kinds of products you're selling, because my audience might be interested in that, and what your course or courses are.
So, my main products all are about how to write really good sales pages.
Okay.
So I have an ebook bundle that's got an ebook and a workbook that is called the Quick Start Guide to Sales Pages, and it goes through a sort of basic template and how you would write your copy for that. And then my course is called Sales Page Secrets, and I use a method I've developed called copy blocks. And so you're writing kind of individual blocks of copy and then putting them together to create your sales page.
Okay, that's great. Now, can we talk sales pages?
Yes.
Again, I have this weird bias, which is I see a sales page, even if it is like a B2B, business to business sales page. Like, so I feel like in this world, they're real business to business pages. Like, let's say, and I haven't looked at it recently, but like I go to the Teachable page because I want to start a course, and it will be a relatively short page to sell me on Teachable or MailChimp or something like that, like a tool that I might use. However, when I see a sales page, typically with a female entrepreneur selling me something like a course, it tends to be one of these incredibly long sales pages with lots of video, testimonials, how much value I'm going to be getting if I buy this. I buy this course for $500, but really I'm getting $25,000 worth of value. So again, my weird bias is, just show me how much this thing costs. Like, I don't necessarily want to read all of this stuff, but am I wrong?
I don't think you're really wrong. I get so frustrated with the super long sales pages that go on, and you have to scroll forever to find a button to find out how much it costs.
Yeah, or it just feels like, and by the way, to my audience, I would love to know how you feel about those sales pages. So would you email me when you reach this point in the podcast at Jillian@MiloTree.com and tell me your thoughts about the super long, again, I do want information. I want to know how this product is going to help me. I do want to read testimonials. I might even watch a video, but maybe not. I want to know how it has transformed other people's lives. Like, I want to know there's a real there. But do I need to keep scrolling and scrolling? I start to get annoyed.
Yeah. So, I mean, the theory behind a really long sales page is the colder your audience, the more information they need to be convinced to buy.
Yep.
And so if you are, using Facebook ads, and so it's a completely cold audience, it's not, retargeting or whatever, then you're probably going to need a longer sales page because people are going to have more questions. They're going to need to know more information. They're going to need to develop that know, like, and trust factor.
Okay.
If your sales page is to, your nice warm audience from your email list of people who know you, you don't have to do nearly as much. It's good to have testimonials, and it's good to write about, what's inside and what the transformation is going to be, but it definitely doesn't have to be that, mile-long sales page. And the thing that really always gets me about the mile-long ones is I want a button at the top because I want to know if it's even in my budget before I invest time in finding out more about it.
Yep. So your recommendation is if you are writing a hugely long sales page, I like it when there are multiple buttons. So I've scrolled down and now I'm like, all right, I'm interested. I don't want to have to scroll all the way down. Show me. Like, I recommend putting multiple, I don't know, even 5 buttons on a page.
Oh, absolutely. I do a button every 2 or 3 sections.
Do you recommend putting different text in the button? So it might be like, buy here, or check it out, or don't miss this opportunity, those kinds of things.
Absolutely. I love playing around with button text and, trying different things. And, some buttons might have the price on it, or some buttons might have, just an invitation to click. Yeah, I like to mix it up.
Okay. Okay. And do you feel like, what would you say some of the best copy is on your sales page? Like, what do you need to convey in your copy?
I like to really talk to the reader. I like to talk about where they are now. I like to show them where they could be after purchasing the product or service. I think it is really important to have some sort of testimonials or case study, something that is going to show them some kind of outside perspective data. And I think it's really important to tell them what's involved in the process, whether it's a course or a service, an ebook, whatever it is. Tell them, what is on the inside and what is going through that like. I love to know with a course, is it video? Is it text? How many hours is this going to take me? Is it self-directed? Is there a Facebook group? I think answering those types of questions and really putting yourself in the shoes of the reader and thinking about, well, what would I want to know? What is important to me as a consumer, so that you can really think about what your reader is going to be looking for on that page.
So it's like thinking about the questions the consumer has, but also where are their sticking points? Like where they're like, I don't know if I want this, to go, oh, you do want that. Like I can anticipate your issues. Yes.
Thinking about, their pain points and, telling them how those pain points can be solved,
Ooh, yes.
That's a really big thing on a sales page.
Yes. Like, are you stuck with this?
Right.
I like that. Okay. And so what would you say then some of the biggest mistakes are that people do when they're writing copy?
It's when they write all about themselves. Sharing your story is great. Don't start at the top of the page with that, because that's not what people are looking for when they land on that page. They are really looking for, how can it help me? And that is the main question that you need to be answering. And jump in from the very beginning with, here's where you are, here's what your pain point is, and here's how I can help you. And then you can go into your story. You can go into, previous clients or customers' stories, and show them how it's helped other people. But really, the top of that page really needs to focus on the reader.
I like that. Now, what about pricing? How do you figure, because I've heard multiple things. I've heard price it at a price point people can afford because you'll get more sales. I've also heard price it high because you want those high paying customers because they can afford it. Chances are they can afford other products from you. And there is something to having skin in the game. If I buy $1,000 course, chances are I am going to invest a little bit of time in that course because I just spent $1,000 versus I just bought a course for $19.
All right, so this is going to get me into a little bit of trouble.
I want you to get into trouble.
I think that the customer should always be the front of your mind. And if you are pricing your course in such a way that it is going to be difficult for people to afford it where they are now, that it is not, you're not keeping your customer in the forefront of your mind. Are there courses that are worth $1,000? Yes, because of where that customer is and how that can fit in with where they want to go. But I think there are a lot of people who are pricing their courses really high and then encouraging the consumer to go into debt to purchase it. And I don't think that's fair to the consumer. I think if you truly want to help people, then it's not just about how much money you can make, but it is helping people where they are and pricing accordingly.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, but how is that getting you into trouble? Because I feel like that's really good advice.
Because there's a lot of people who don't agree with me. I have seen so many not to call out the coaching community because it's not the only one, but I have seen so many coaches lately who, they're selling like $5,000
mastermind groups
or whatever, and they are literally telling people, well, you're going to get such good results out of this, you can go into debt to join it.
Ooh.
I can't get on board with that. I just think that is wrong. If your customer is at the point where $5,000 means going into debt, then you're not pricing your program accordingly, or you are not going after the right kind of clients.
Now, do you feel, though, because in our online world, reputation matters so much, do you feel like that will come back to bite them?
I kind of hope so, because I feel like that's kind of the only way that the world will adjust,
Mm-hmm.
I think there has to be some sort of backlash as to this is not the right way to approach selling your program, and that we can have more of a conversation about it. I think pricing is hard. I will not deny that. It is hard to make sure that you are getting both your value and providing the help to the customer where they are.
Right.
It's a fine balancing act, but I think that that push that your results are guaranteed, so obviously you can go into debt to do this, I really think that needs to be talked about. I think that needs to be more out there so that people know that doesn't have to be your only option. There are people who are, working with lower price points, or, are having different levels of services, so that if you're not at that $5,000 level yet, they've got a bigger group program that's only $1,500, and, that's a much more comfortable price point for you. So why don't you join that one?
Right.
Pricing can be a touchy subject. And Facebook groups are sort of a hard place to talk about it too, because, I think it's hard to know the tone of somebody else's reply sometimes in the online world. But I do hope this becomes more of a talking point, and that people really address the fact that, going into debt or being pressured to spend money that you don't feel comfortable spending is not going to, doing that, spending that money you don't feel comfortable spending isn't going to change your business. It's the work that you put in.
Absolutely. That was just what I was going to say.
Yeah.
For example, with MiloTree, we have big social media platform, footprints.
Yeah.
And people say all the time, now we use MiloTree, and yes, if you have traffic to your blog, MiloTree will help you grow your follow. It will work. It will work.
Yeah.
But it is not magic. So, for example, people will sign up for MiloTree who've just started blogging and have absolutely no traffic. And I say very honestly, I can't create traffic for you. I can convert your traffic into followers, and eventually those followers can increase your traffic if you're sending people back to your blog, let's say. Yeah. But I'm going to say it, there is no magic bullet.
Yes.
And just because you've spent $5,000 does not mean that magic happens. It's you who create the magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when people talk about these launches and they buy a course to learn how to sell a course, and all of a sudden, they're going to do a launch and make $1 million, that does not exist.
Oh, and I feel so bad for people who come into these Facebook groups and are like, I just did a webinar, only 4 people showed up and nobody bought anything. How do I actually sell my course? And, I just think there is this push that, hey, anybody can do this. Anybody can launch a course and sell it. And it's really
no, but sell it for 6 figures, make
right,
6-figure launch.
Figures. Yes. And it's like, no, you need an audience. You need to start with building up the people who are interested in what you have to sell. Just launching into space is not going to do anything for you.
Right. So again, it's like buyer beware. In fact, if anybody has a course they're thinking of buying that costs a lot of money, email me and I will give you my honest feedback as to whether I think this is valuable based on where you are. Now, I agree. If you're making 7 figures, yeah, sure, go buy that $1,000 or $5,000 course or join that $10,000 mastermind.
Right.
But if you think that just by spending money, you will, and then people will say you have to spend money to make money. But be mindful of is that if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there are a lot of people who are doing really good work at a lower price point. Just because somebody has name recognition and, a big priced course doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best choice for you.
So I was just listening to a podcast and they were talking about how certain medical procedures at different hospitals can vary drastically in how much it costs. So you can have an open heart surgery and it could cost $500,000 or it can cost $20,000. And it's not necessarily correlated to how good the doctors are or how good your outcome's going to be.
Right.
And I thought that was really interesting. And with courses, there's an element of that, which is you don't necessarily know how great this course is going to be. Like that the $200 course, let's say the $2,000 course might not necessarily be 10 times better than the $200 course.
Right. Right. Well, and going along with that, like learning styles are so different. I really struggle from learning from video. I'm much better if I read and, see screenshots than learning from video. So, the $500 course might not be for me because it's all video with no text. Whereas the $97 course, because there's no videos, it's only text, it's cheaper, but actually I'm going to learn a lot better from it.
Absolutely. Okay. So in terms of just overall, let's just talk branding for just a second. Overall branding. Let's say I started a blog. I sell a couple ebooks, that kind of thing. What are your thoughts about how I brand my business, my messaging, that kind of thing?
Oh boy. Well, I think online at this point, it really is all about personality. There are brands that are, not necessarily somebody is the person behind it. But I think a lot of the sort of growing trend is that you need to be out there and you need to be present if you're going to be growing this online business. So, really my biggest advice for that is be yourself. You're going to find your people. You don't have to become this strange persona that you're not. If you are yourself and you speak your truth, you will find your people and you will build your audience and, you can serve them well. And, you don't have to have, 300 million people in an audience in order to have a successful business. You can be small, you can be niched down, and you can serve your audience well, and you can create the things that they really want from you, and you can make a great living.
I love that. And therefore, what you are saying is for you introverts, and I put myself in that category, although now I am calling myself an ambivert.
Yep.
You got to put your face out there and you've got to risk and back and again, like what we were talking about, which is starting your online business will push you to venture into areas of discomfort, embarrassment, shame, all of that. And so it's, again, be kind to yourself as you embark on this journey. But I personally think it is such a worthwhile journey.
It is such a worthwhile journey. And being able to meet people from all over the world who are passionate about the things that you're passionate about is, that's unbelievable to me. I grew up and still live in a small New Hampshire town, and I have befriended people from all over the world. Yeah. And I love that so much. And working a regular 9-to-5 job, I never would have been able to do that.
And I personally also think that I get to help entrepreneurs like create the lives that they only dreamed about. And if I can be just the tiniest little rung on that journey, I feel so honored.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, okay, Emma, tell people how to reach out to you, how to learn more about what you do. If you're interested in sales pages and funnels and that kind of thing, Emma is your girl. So please share like how people can reach you.
Okay, well, so there are two places to reach me online now. My blog is emmaleebates.com. So
Want to
it's
spell it?
yeah, EMMALEEBATES. So emmaleebates.com. And then my husband and I have started a new marketing agency, and that is stillrisemarketing.com.
Okay. And what is that? What do you guys offer there?
We are offering a wide variety of services. We are pretty much doing all aspects of funnel building. So we do Facebook ads, we do copywriting, we do landing page, sales page, website building. And we are diving into some other aspects that are not quite public yet, but I will be excited to share soon.
Perfect. And great. Okay. And how can people join your email list, which is how I found you?
EmmaLeeBates.com. If you go there, I've got a bunch of awesome free stuff from sales page conversion trackers to headline formulas and all sorts of stuff. So if you just go to the homepage, you'll see some of them there.
Well, Emma, this has been such a treat. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed our talk so much.
I hope you guys liked hearing from Emma. What it reinforced for me is the mantra, yes, know thyself, but also know thy audience. The better you know them, the better you can sell to them. And if you can get it right, they will be happy to take out their credit cards and buy from you. So experiment, try different things, and ultimately you will hit it if you are authentic and genuinely helpful. Also, if you have not tried out MiloTree on your blog, if you have a blog and you have traffic, I promise MiloTree will grow your followers, your subscribers, your email list, or send people exactly where you want them to go. So head to MiloTree.com. Sign up for your account and get your first 30 days free, and you will see how easy it is to install. And I will see you here again next week.